cats sitting on mats, or the moon. I wish to reach the moon really very soon. Hi everyone. So you've read the title of this video. You know what I'm going to talk about. So let's just start talking. So ever since I was maybe 10 or 9 actually, I decided that I wanted to be a writer. So that's a really long time for me to have held on to something, and it's something that I've really held on to. So when I was 9, I decided I would be a writer one day, a published author, whatever. And now I finally got like one book coming out. So let's talk about how this all came around. So for a while now, I've had it at the back of my mind or on my to-do list that I am going to write a book. So there was a project that I was working on, but it's not ready yet. So there was this short story that I did about 8 years ago. And my idea was to take the concept for that short story and either write a collection of short stories that was based in that particular universe, or create a whole novel out of it. But when I sat down to do it, I felt like it wouldn't pan out right now. So while I was working on all of this and looking for publishers and seeing how many publishers were actually requesting books or manuscripts at the moment, I kept writing poems. And even through my worst times of writer's block, I've always been writing poetry. And it's when lately I've been writing just more and more and more. In the past year, I've written about 20 poems, which is a lot for me. Earlier, it used to be like one poem, one rhyme once in a while. And now I'm just spitting out poetry like, I don't know. So it struck me. I keep a count of how many poems I've written till date, and I realized that I was at 98 poems. I was like, if I hit 100, I can publish this. So once I decided that I was going to do a collection of poetries and I was going to publish it, I started working on the manuscript. And well, first I listed down all of the poems that I'd ever written and tried to see if there was some way to divide them up or to segment them. Um, and then I realized that a lot of those poems were written when I was really young. So then I had to do a little bit of editing, and while I was doing this, I wrote my 99th poem, which is the poem which is at the end of the book, the last poem in the book. So I selected uh, some of my poems which I think made sense, stood the test of time, I guess, weren't too childish. I mean, you could read them. And the poems that are more recent, that are more closer to my heart. When I started working on my manuscript, I spent a long time typing every poem from the notebook that I keep my poems in into the computer, and then organizing them in a way that I thought made sense. And well, once I did that, even while I was doing that, I was looking for publishers. And I went through over 20 publishers and their websites, and then reading about them, publishing experience of other people, and all of that stuff. And the other option that I had was self-publishing. But with self-publishing, you can either publish without an ISBN, or you can apply for an ISBN yourself, get one, and then publish it. So that was like so when I went to the website to where So when I went to the official government website where you get an ISBN allotted to you, I read the how to apply section, and it seemed a little daunting. And that was really the only thing that was keeping me from self-publishing mostly. But when I realized that if I submit my manuscript to any publisher, there will be someone editing it, and the idea of someone you know just going through my rhymes or my poetry and then maybe deleting a few words or adjusting the grammar or something like that, it made me feel like, when that screeching noise that chalk makes when sometimes you drag it across the blackboard. That's how I felt inside when I thought about someone else editing my poetry. So that was like, nope, I want complete creative control over this. So self-publishing it is. So once we decided that, I went through the website where I am self-publishing through, and I got the format for the manuscript, and I started converting my raw manuscript into the format that was required for publishing. Well, I did that. Well, when the first draft was ready, I converted it into PDFs and sent it to my entire immediate family, so that there were more people proofreading it, and in case there were any errors or spelling mistakes or whatever. When I was proofreading it, I realized that it looked too blank, too cold, too clinical, because there were a lot of pages where I felt like the poem ended, suppose in the middle of the page, and then there was some space at the bottom, and I felt like there could be something there. Actually, it didn't start there, but that is what prompted me. So the book is actually divided into 4 sections, and for each section, I have one page where I have the title and some text. So I used to bullet journal last year. I still try to bullet journal, but I'm not very good at keeping up with it. So yeah, I used to bullet journal, and I just decided to draw up a cute little divider and then insert that into the page, and it looked good. So then I went through the manuscript again, and I noted where there was space, and I doodled a little bit, and then I inserted those doodles in there. After that was done, I decided that that would be it. That would be the final number of pages that I'm sticking with, and the final format and everything. And then I turned my attention to the cover page. So when I was designing the cover page of my book on the self-publishing website, they have a tool for designing the cover page. I was at first going with a muted pink. It was a good color, but then again, there was the same problem that I had faced when I was looking at the pages of the book. It was too cold and clinical to, be storing or carrying something that was so close to my heart. So my first idea was to insert a doodle of flowers onto that cover page, but the thing about that was I would have to fill in the background of the doodle with the exact same shade as the shade that I had chosen for the cover of my book, which seemed like more of a task to me than actually just scrapping the idea altogether. So I did that. So then I decided to do something different with the cover. So last year, when I had started my Instagram account where I post my poems, I wanted a few colorful backgrounds for me to write a few lines or a segment of my poem on and then post it to Instagram. So when I decided that I would do it that way, I took a bunch of brush pens and I just splattered them onto a few pages, and I had like 2 or 3 I don't know what to call them, pieces, um, 2 or 3 sheets that I had colored in differently, and one of them really screamed out to me. So I took a photo of that. I uploaded it to the website for the cover, and it's literally an explosion of color. And that felt more like me than the clinical muted pink, even though I really like that color, but it just wasn't the right fit. So with that, I had my cover designed. So the book was virtually ready. The next thing that I wanted to do was get an ISBN. So for that, there's a whole process to apply. You can look it up online. But yeah, so first you have to register as an applicant, which I was facing a lot of issues with. So then I read their whole how to apply page again. There were no answers there. I seemed to be doing everything right. But then I watched a YouTube, and then in that video, that guy told me what could possibly be the reason for my application not being processed or being um, not being accepted correctly. And that turned out that and then it turned out that that was indeed the issue, and then that got resolved, and then we had to apply and fill in a few details. So the thing about getting an ISBN is you have to have your number of pages in the book ready, the price of the book should be decided, and you need to have the cover page ready. So basically your entire book should be done and ready before you apply for an ISBN. So the website where I've applied for the ISBN, the official website, it says that the minimum processing time is at least 2 days, and it has been, I think, 4 or 5 days at this point. I'm starting to lose count because I'm so impatient, because I already have the book ready. I just need this one number to go on it so that I can publish it. So yeah, that's my status currently. So I'm growing a little impatient, but that's just part of who I am. Because I haven't told my friends yet. I haven't really told anyone except my immediate family, because I want this to be a sort of surprise, and I want to see their reactions. So well, that's a whole different thing. So basically I'm waiting for that, and the first few days I was so impatient that I kept going back to the manuscript. And initially I had inserted about 4 or 5 doodles, but while going through it, I just started looking for every empty space in that book, and then I started doodling more and more and more, and then inserting those doodles, and I think I inserted 15 other doodles. And then again I decided that I would stop messing with the book, because at this point the number of pages is fixed, and if I do anything that changes that I just don't want to. I don't like breaking rules, so I doubt that it will make much of a difference if the number of pages goes from x to x plus 1, but I don't want to find out. So there's been this is where I am right now. I've been wanting to make this video for a long time. I actually wanted to film it as I was doing it every day, but I was waiting for some equipment to show up, and then I realized that I didn't order it in the first place. It was still in my cart, so then I ordered it. So this has been my experience so far. There will be more to this video. This is just one session that I'm shooting. Like I said, I wanted to shoot it in pieces. So the next part, next time I see you, hopefully I'll have an ISBN or some updates about the ISBN, or maybe even the book. So let's see how that pans out. You will see me in literally just a second, but for me it's gonna be the long way. So ciao. Hi guys, this is editing Priyanshi. Before we move on to Priyanshi with an ISBN, the thing is, there was something that I wanted to discuss in the last segment of this video, but I totally forgot. So I'm gonna include it now. So the title of my book is Mellifluous. And I want to talk a little bit about why the book is called what it is. So here's the thing. When I first decided that I was going to publish a collection of my poetry, I knew I needed to find something meaningful for the name of the book. And after the initial panic and floundering, I decided that a good place to start would be a pin that I had on Pinterest It was basically a list of 100 words, which were supposedly the most beautiful sounding words in the English language. Um, as I went looking for that list on my boards, because I have a ton of Pinterest boards, a memory sort of resurfaced in my brain. So a long time ago, there was a post on Instagram that I had sent to one of my friends, and the title of the post was basically tag yourself or tag your friends as some beautiful words or meaningful words. And I sent it to her, and I was like, "You're this word," and she replied with, "You're mellifluous," and that memory just sort of resurfaced. And when I thought a little bit about the contents of my book and the meaning of the word mellifluous, which is sweet sounding, I thought it fit. And then I did set the word aside as like a potential candidate, and then did a little more research. But I think ever since I remembered it, my heart just was sort of set on mellifluous. Secondly, I really enjoy saying mellifluous. So, mellifluous it is. So, that's the story of the title. Secondly, I have an update on the ISBN situation. So, the process for applying for an ISBN on the current version of this portal, like they're gonna have a new version soon, so I assume that the process might change. But for now, for the application that I have, you have to apply with a bunch of details. Then they ask you for some clarifications in case there are any. Once you've given them those clarifications and they are satisfied, they reserve the ISBN. And then you have to fill in a few more details about your book, and then finally you get the actual number. So with me, there were no clarifications required. I just got a notification that an ISBN has been reserved for my book. So I needed to fill the details, but what happened was there was some issue with the website and I couldn't log into my account. I just kept getting an internal server error. So I emailed them, and then the issue got resolved, and as soon as it did, I logged in and filled in my details. And once again, it's just a waiting game, and hopefully I'll have the ISBN soon. So it took me about 7 working days to get the notification that my ISBN has been reserved. So I'm assuming that it'll take at least another 7 for me to get the actual ISBN. So just waiting. And as soon as I get that, I'll let you guys know. And I'll also start with the actual processing of the printing and publication part of the book. And then a little more waiting, and then that'll be it. I'll have my book. So that's the update for now. Let's hope we see ISBN Priyanshi in 3. Hey guys, it's me, Priyanshi again. So I submitted the details for my ISBN yesterday, and I checked this evening and I've got the ISBN, so that's amazing. I filled in the details for further processing of the book, not at the ISBN website, at the self-publishing website. So my book has now officially been submitted for, well, first they're gonna do a review and then it'll be published. So hi guys, it's me again. Before it starts raining, I want to finish this up real quick. Me and my 2 pimples and this plant apparently want to introduce you to this. So yeah, my book Mellifluous is finally available. I mean, it has been available for a while now, but it takes some time for it to be printed and shipped, and now I've got it, and pretty soon you're gonna see this video and it's gonna be out in the world and it's gonna be amazing. So this has been my final update. I thank you so much for watching this video and all the videos you've watched so far and will watch in the future. Thank you for everything. This has been it. Bye.